Hey, Kevin, Jack, and Catherine.
We got a haircut.
Yes, I did. I did get it. I got a shave, basically. This one of Annie's. So there's a little left, but not much. No, I wanted her to cut it short. Um, I've always had my hair really short. This is actually a little too long. I actually should trim that back a little bit. Um, Kevin, we were talking about getting together over the October break. But because Annie has not been feeling very well this week, we had to reschedule our vaccine appointments. So I'm not sure how that is going to work out. You and Lee didn't have any problem with the vaccines, but like I said, Lisa had a lot of trouble with it. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
All right, well, I can come up. Just let me know.
Okay. Over Christmas, I'm going to have to put a floor in this studio, which is going to be quite a project. Trying to do construction in an occupied room is not the most fun thing in the world to do. So maybe that would be a good time to mess with cameras when we're messing with the whole room too. Who knows? Okay, let's do some silk reeling. Head turns. And center and head rolls. And reverse. And down to center and back up. Forward spinal wave. And reverse. And good. The qua. And reverse. And good. Belly rolls. And reverse. The windmill, or excuse me, the other one, the grindstone. And reverse. And all the way. And reverse. And good. And the waist. And clockwise. This is a great exercise to pay attention to what we were talking about the other day, that the left and the right side of the body are not together. They follow each other in a very dance-like pattern. When you do this movement, you're doing two different things. This hand is doing a backhand. This hand is doing a straightforward punch. So it's not one, it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. They're very close together, but they're not locked together. Watch. It's almost exactly like this. All right? The only difference is it's your fist. This one's very different. All right? It's still working on the same circle, but don't have this come up over your head like that. You're probably not gonna. If the guy you got to punch is that tall, you should just turn around and run. All right? Instead, you come across right underneath your own eyes. It's not the arm doing it, all right? It's this. All right, now, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Master Xiang always used to say, the 1-2 punch. The first punch, you punch the guy in the nose. All right? If you've ever been punched in the nose, you'll know the consequences. All right? Now that his nose is all bloody and broken, now you punch him in the nose again. All right? So you're going to punch him in the nose twice. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And they're both working off this one big circle. 1, 2, 1, 2. And then when you relax into it, right, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, and the other way. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This is kind of a punch to the side. And it's usually into the solar plexus. All right. So let me do it from the side a little bit. You might be using your hand, but you may also be using your arm to punch him. We do it in the form. So what are you doing when you do that? Suppose this is a bad guy who just wants to go around and hit people, right? So he's decided to give you a backhand. So he's giving you a backhand to your nose. You are smart though, so you're gonna intercept that backhand. The backhand is coming in this direction. So it's very easy to pull it out. Right? You're actually going to pull him out at the same time you're going to hit him back. This would be to his nose. Right? You could hit him low. That's to his crotch, all right? Or you might just go into his ribs. Now, Catherine, pay attention to this because you may want to do this sometime. Some guy backhands you. Pull his arm across your chest, right at the tangent. And then as you go to hit him, turn his arm so that his elbow is back toward you, and then expand your chest into his arm. That way you can snap his arm at the elbow. It's a good thing to know how to do. I'm just kidding you, Catherine. I just know how bloodthirsty you are, so. So, you can literally take any move in the form and turn it into a silk reeling exercise. You just repeat it. Just do it over and over and over again. Let's work on the one that we started on the other day. All right, so toward the center. The part I want you to get is the qua. When you do the right hand and you're going out, you're going to dip into the left qua. And then you come up from the foot in a full spiral. If you're going to do the other side, the left side, now you dip into the right qua and you come up in a full spiral. The spiral, as it goes up through your body, this is hard enough to do when you're live. It's really hard to do when you're just looking at video here. But, right, when I sink into this qua, I'm also sinking into my Ming Man in the back, down low. And then as I come up, now I'm in my tangent. Sink, right? I'm in the qua and the Ming Man. And now all the way from here to here is going to be a big spiral up into the tangent. Right? Sink up into the tangent. 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 And like I said yesterday, you can see my hand turning and spiraling. Watch. But it's not that I'm really turning my hand. I'm turning it a tiny little bit. Most of the turn is coming because my trunk is spiraling, right? Spiral, spiral, spiral. Keep doing it. I want to watch you. Imagine you've got a partner that you're working with, a training partner. So, he's doing the same thing you are, only he's doing it just the opposite of you. And your arms are going to meet. Now, you're not trying to beat each other up. Your arms just gently meet, and then you go on the other side and they meet again. Where they meet is here. They meet. About right here. They meet. They meet. They meet. They meet. Okay. So you guys are going like this, all right? If you were doing this in real life, it would be really intense, right? Not even training, but you were sparring. So you have to be really well grounded, and you've got to have your chi path down. This exercise is about understanding your chi path. All right, from my mind to my dantian to the qua here, right? My mind to the dantian to the qua. Now it actually goes down the leg, all the way to the bottom of the leg. And now it comes back up to the qua, to the dantian, actually the mingmen in the back, and then to the tanzhong. So it's a giant loop. It's a giant loop. You guys are doing okay. But I want you to watch my hands. My hands from this point to this point are actually going in a straight line. More or less a straight line. They're not waving all around the place. This is the same thing. This is a training. 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 It's to get all the parts working. Once all the parts working and you've got them in sequence, you can make it much more efficient. All right? Instead of going like this, you just go like that. But all the parts are still working. And this movement is a straight line. Yes, good. Good, Catherine. Yeah, you got it, Jack. Okay, let's go from there to cloud hands, yun shou. Basically the same thing. Only now we're going clear out, not clear out 180 degrees, but a good 45 degrees instead of straight ahead. There are 3 versions of cloud hands. Here's the first version. Here's the second version. Here's the third version. So the third version is essentially exactly what we were just doing. Instead of going straight out, now you're going out to the side. But actually the other 2 versions are actually built on this version. Even though they look much softer, they only work when you've got this chi path that I'm talking about. So we'll do the third version. Watch. This comes up to the Tanjong. Now, my hand's going to move, but it's only going to move because my body is moving. Now, it's not quite that stiff and mechanical. You do move your hand a little bit, but 90% of the movement is because you're rotating on the center. If you're using silk reeling is about using spirals. If you're sparring with somebody and you have to use your arm to block, let's just say to block, that makes it easy, right? So their arm is, coming, their hand is coming in here, and you have to step up and block. If you just do that with your own arm, how much does your arm weigh? I don't know, 20 pounds? 15 pounds? I don't know what it weighs. Not much. But if you got your whole body doing it, now you're going to have some force. When you practice in silk reeling, you just, instead of just doing it once and then going on and doing the whole rest of the form, you're doing it over and over and over and over again. And you can practice on a sliding scale from the softest, the most yin to the most yang. All of them are legitimate. You shouldn't do super yang all the time because you wear yourself out. So yeah, you can do it like this. And you should do it that way once in a while. But not for like an hour, because you'll be exhausted. Instead, you just do it softly. Yeah, good, Catherine. Yes. Do it very softly. You're you're accustomizing the body to moving in this manner and to getting all the parts to work in the right sequence at the right time. In other words, you're working on your coordination. Good, Catherine. Watch my hand, watch my fingers. I'm kind of exaggerating, but some guy here, he's trying to punch you, right? You come up and you may just block without using your hand at all. But you may block and use your hand to help guide him. And when you do, you're going to meet his arm in a certain sequence. Little finger, ring finger, middle finger, index finger, thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you think, oh my God, that's just a little thing. Yeah, it's a little thing, but it's important because you're training yourself to be articulate. If you play the piano, right? If you play the piano, every finger has to have its own mind. You can't just play the piano like this. Every finger has to have its own brain, its own mind. And it's the same thing in Tai Chi and Qigong. It may be very soft, but you should be really conscious of the fingers and of the pads of the fingers out on the end. Because that's where you're going to contact the world. Okay, questions?
It was great, but it is so difficult for me. But fine, I'm gonna I'm gonna try to really remember. I mean, it's just like so much focus
Yes.
on every second, every millisecond. You have to be aware of what you're doing. So it's great. I mean, I'm learning like.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, it gets easier.
Great.
Really, the hardest part is the beginning because it's so different. And you're right. You have to pay attention to every cell in the body. It's like I'm paying attention here, but what about my toes? What? No, I'm serious. What about my toes? You have to be paying attention to your feet at the same time. All right? Paying attention to your feet is called tiger paws. Right? Your feet are not just lumps on the end of your legs. They actually engage, right? They're engaging the ground, even though I'm in shoes, right? And I'm using my feet all the time. So, Catherine, just don't forget your feet.
Thanks.
Okay, guys, have yourselves a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.
Thank you.